Okay, warm. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Prosperity Infusions. This is a space and a place where meaningful conversations can happen about true wealth and holistic abundance. If you decide to stay and tune in, you'll be enriched through transmissions and inspiring prosperous stories. This is the third dialogue that I've had here with Sharon Duncan. And Sharon brings her 40 years of expertise in the realm of accounting, tax preparation, strategic tax planning, like all that uh, practical stuff that she has done for a long time, along with her passion for money, for human connection, and for really helping people to experience greater ease and liberation around money and their relationship with money. I also like that she refers to herself as a money medium, and she is a mentor. She blends her intuitive insights and practical financial strategies to help to help her clients overcome money fears. So, Sharon, is there anything you want to add about my little intro there?
No, I love it. My favorite part is the intuitive process of working with people. That's the part that actually got me to dive into building trainings to help people because I could see clients who would come in the door who were incredibly talented, service oriented, heart oriented, spiritual, loving, so gracious. And they'd come in like
Mm-hmm.
oh my, like money, money, money. And I intuitively could see the block and barrier that they were coming with of shame around their lack of knowledge around money. And so that
Mm-hmm.
intuitive piece is my favorite part because I immediately go in and we move that shame out of the way. Like I do it with compassion and where did it come from? And did you know that this is happening? And how do you think it's playing out in your life? So really that's my passion is to really connect to the human and move the money block out of the way so they can do what they're meant to do while they're here on the planet.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Speaking of doing what they're meant to do, you and I just had, you and I just, we're actually still in it. You just went through a beautiful launch of, will you remind me the name of the program?
Financial Flow Formula was the program. We had a couple of things. We had a free 5-day training called Bye Bye Financial Stress, which was incredibly powerful. And now
Mm-hmm.
we're just moving into the program called Financial Flow Formula. And it's an intuitive process again for people to step in and understand how they think, feel, how their intuition works, how to talk to it, understand it, how to let their emotions um, actually help guide them. Um, and let them know, we have emotional guidance systems that steer us tell us whether or not we're on the right path or not by how we feel. If you feel crappy, chances are that's not the right way to go. So we're tapping into that
Mm-hmm.
and then getting some practical processes. But it's called Financial Flow Formula, and I love it. It is so much fun.
Okay, so you just are still actually in the midst of launching that. And then right? I mean, you've launched it and it hasn't begun yet. And
Correct.
I've been journeying with this program called Plenty, which I think you've tuned into some of.
Wow.
And so here you and I are both, I mean, we're navigating our money stuff as humans while we're also putting out works that help people to navigate their money stuff and their relationship to money. And I suppose this leads me to the question of what is it that you learned about yourself in relationship to money through this journey that feels really like right on the edge of your own expansion?
Yeah. Well, I had some interesting revelations. One is that I needed to put aside what all the professionals were telling me to do in terms of pricing because it never felt right.
Mm,
Right. So I ended up and I loved the feedback. I'd gotten some feedback from you, which was incredible. I ended up tapping into my own soul to price this beautiful baby that I've been nurturing and loving forever, this program, and put it at a price that actually felt good to me. Like
mm,
it felt really good to me to offer it up. So that was a big learning for me around this whole process. And in my journey with plenty has been amazing in that I know where a lot of my tapes have come from, but I got to them in a deeper level in
Mm,
terms of receiving. My big tape is my dad. God bless his heart. I loved him. He was alive. You know, he did the best he could, and I get that. But he always said money's only worth what you spent it on, and he never
mm.
spent it on me
Oh,
in a way.
right.
You know what I mean? So I got to a deeper level with that in terms of, oh, I don't feel worthy.
Mm,
I'm still processing that. Um, I'm not worth it. I have to work hard to
hmm
get or to receive. Um, and that even in working hard to receive from him, I didn't ever get it. So
mm,
that's kind of what's been mulling around in my world, along with the energetic connection. For me is a huge currency. I call it money is currency. Like, so the energetic connection with everybody that I've been working with, huge currency in that respect. It's been absolutely wonderful.
What can you say more about that? What do you
Yeah. So if you think of, I always say, money's always moving. It's
hmm
it's like a currency. It's like electricity. It's always moving. It's never stagnant. It's never still. It'll be still right now. It is how it is right now. And then in 5 minutes, when we go to the grocery store, or you get interest, or you spend a bit, it's going to change. So, so it's always moving,
hmm
and it's currency in that. You know how electricity, I don't know if I'm going to explain this well, but I'm going to try.
Yeah,
So,
I'm going to chime in too, I think. Keep
so,
going.
like I got a download the other day of we're like a light bulb, a lamp, and the currency is our cord and plug, or how we plug into the money currency. Like, and if our cord and plug are dirty, clean, gunky, then the receiving of the energy is not going to come through the body and light the light bulb, right?
Mm,
So, um, so in terms of money being currency in our lives, and I would love to hear what you have to say about this, because I don't think I'm explaining it well, but it and energy and connection with other people being currency,
mm,
uh, it fills us up.
mm,
You have a connection with somebody and you have a dialogue that is energetic.
mm.
It fills us up. So we're getting currency in that respect. So we fill up, right? If you have a dialogue with somebody who's like, it's going to deplete you. So
Mm.
in terms of what's been happening for me in these last 3 weeks is I've been energized by all of the connections that have given me currency, right, to fill up and be expansive and new ideas. My light bulb got brighter.
Mm.
My through plenty, I'm ungunking my plug and cord so that the energy can come through that way and I can light up.
Yes, 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 yes. I love that. As actually, as you said it, I was thinking about meridian circulation and being trained in Chinese medicine. It's like energy flows through the meridians, and we're not just machines. We're more than that. There's vital life force that moves through us. And when we do acupuncture, we're opening up flow. In essence, where flow has gotten clamped down, that's where we see pain and dysfunction and challenge. You go in and you open up flow, and the movement, or the currency of energy that moves through, vitalizes. It brings resources. In essence, like we can be who we are because energy is moving.
Yeah.
When energy stops moving, it's the death. We're dead, or it's the death process. There's something that's dying.
Yeah.
And I think this is going to get a bit philosophical, and I honestly don't totally know what's going to come out of my mouth either. But it's something that I think about a lot with money, because I find money endlessly, endlessly fascinating to contemplate. Because what I see is that our relationship to money always reflects our relationship to power. And money, even though we sort of talk about it as a tangible thing, and there is such a thing called cash, which people don't use too much anymore. Money is not Money's actually far more energy than it actually is something. Like our money isn't pegged to they're not gold bars in a vault backing up the exact amount of currency that's available. We just printed up more paper money, fiat money than ever over COVID, not just in US dollars and in many, many currencies. So this money, which isn't really backed by a thing, which is energy, which flows around all the time, is it is so mutable and summonable. I don't actually think that's a word, but summonable, meaning I know when I'm in the flow, like when I'm in the flow, because I've also done a lot of work with money, I'm also in the flow with money.
Hmm.
I'm in the flow with money. I'm in the flow with energy. I'm in the flow with love. Like I'm in the flow.
Yeah.
And I think that what this is part of what I find really fascinating is that humans can be really in the flow in different areas of their life, like in their profession or with their artwork or with their love or with their dog. But then when it comes to money, it's like, the flow is not there. Yeah. And there's,
Yeah.
there's this real disconnect with, with our magician ability,
Yeah.
our magical ability to flow, because flow is magic. Like when we're actually in the flow, it's a magical synchronistic experience that's beyond just the mind, right? And so I know that we can do that with money. I do it with money. I'm practicing understanding how and what it is I'm actually doing when I'm doing it. I think this is part of the new paradigm with money that we're creating together.
Yeah.
And I think to hold it as currency and to play with it as currency is central to flowing more. It is as important as your financial planning.
Yeah.
It's as important.
Yeah. Well, and also knowing how you think about it, how you feel about it, what's constricting you about it. A lot of people just don't even know that there's a barrier going on. They don't know that their head is telling them, no, 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 bad, bad. I can't, I can't, I can't, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
so it's restricting that energy flow, right? A lot of people
Mm-hmm.
don't know that that's happening. And so
That's true.
flow, so we have a huge umbrella of our whole lives and
Mm.
everything's going well, and yet we focus on like, oh, but it's not because this
Yeah,
money thing, this money thing. It's like, no, no, we talk about prosperity
that's
in our
true.
calls. We go over the umbrella. You have the prosperity um, um, practice, right? Where you look at everything, take the pressure off the money, go into the flow, like you just talked about, and go, oh, you know, and also when we learn that when we decide, because we
Mm.
have to make a decision around
Mm.
money to decide you're going to get over it or you're going to work through it,
Yeah.
you're going to conquer it, you're just going to do it. Even
Yes.
though all of these things may be true. You screwed up in the past, you lost all your money, you filed bankruptcy 12 times, you blah, blah, blah. You're just going to make a decision that you are going to overcome this, right? And you just learn about it. There's something about plugging into that and making the decision that it's a necessity.
It's
It's
like
something
step one. It's like you can't go anywhere else until you do that.
exactly. Because you really do need to understand and have intentionality around your competency around money. It doesn't mean you have to know the stock market or
Mm.
what inflation rates are or what the economy is doing. You don't. It's just a matter of
Mm.
understanding what your money is doing and what you want it to do for you. And that's where you tap into the currency, you see, because then you talked about summation or you talked about summiting or
So,
bringing
yeah, yeah,
to us, right?
yeah.
That's when we bring, because we're in intention, we've plugged into the electricity in the wall with our plug and cord. We're learning how to make that clean and clear and understand how it works. And we're deciding where it's going to go now because we're
Mm.
taking the time to focus in on what we want instead of being powerless or victimhood and going, I can't, I can't, I can't. We're getting empowered. You talked about that in the
Love
beginning
this.
of it being powerful. Like money is power in that, well, we can see it operating. If you look at everything that is wrong
Mm.
right now, going on the planet, 99.9% of the time you can hook it back to money,
Mm.
right? So why not be empowered with your own money? And then
Mm.
millions of us gather together and we form a collective group of being authentic and clear and
Yes.
woo, and
Yeah.
really changing how the currency is moving on the
Yes. I'm
right.
here for that.
Me too. Like,
I'm
let's do
so
it.
here for that. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, I love the way that you said that. I think that's also one of the reasons why I'm so compelled to work with money, specifically with people that consider themselves artists and healers, because the artists and the I mean, everybody has money stuff. I don't know anybody that's free from money stuff, but the artists and because connected into the healing world is there's a lot of assumptions that if you want money or you're asking for money that you're not truly a healer or you're not truly a spiritual in your healing, this kind of thing. And so then it becomes bad to want money or to want to be successful with money. And I just think I know, like, I have to share something that I heard this one mentor of mine many, many years ago. He said this, and when he said it, it kind of bugged me, but I also kind of was like, good. So he said, this might, I'm just like pre-warning for people, this might be a little triggery. He said, look, I've been rich and I've been poor, and rich is better. And so when he first said it, he said it in a kind of an arrogant way, and I thought, what an asshole. But the thing is, it's true in the sense that if you don't have enough money for your survival needs to be met, that's a certain kind of challenge.
Yeah.
And then if you're in a constant fight with money and it never feels like it's enough to do what you want to do, that's another kind of challenge. And here's the thing that I've realized, and I think maybe you even spoke about this last time, or maybe it was in your webinar, is that just having more money doesn't actually make your life better unto itself.
Right.
You actually have to learn to choose your prosperous nature no matter how much money is there. And when you're developing that alongside the summoning capacities with money, how to be like real, heartful, and soulfully mature with your money in the way that you want to do that. When you have those together, that's when it's like, yeah, we're creating something completely different.
Yeah.
And it's thrilling.
Yeah. And he's right. In terms of rich, I've been poor and I've been rich. I wouldn't I wouldn't classify myself as rich, but I would say that um, I could probably not work for the rest of my life and be okay.
Mm,
I haven't run I should run the numbers on that. Actually, I have run the numbers and they say I'd be fine.
okay.
But I like to expand. I like bigger, better. Like I want to expand. Like I have things to do, right? So in terms of the wealthy, I'm going to replace rich with wealthy. There's
Mm,
a way of having wealth. When you have wealth, it's not just money, it's internal wealth. You have wealth, right? You get to choose what you get to create.
mm.
Instead of being the duck on the pond with the feet doing this, you can be the duck on the pond going, ah,
Yes,
right?
right.
We get to create what we want. And also
Yes,
more empowering, right? Especially if you've overcome struggle around money. Like
yeah.
that in itself. Like for me, starting out as a broke single mom, having overcome that um, was huge for me in terms of um, seeing all of the different skills that I put into place to move myself out of that because I knew I didn't want that. I had the emotional guidance system telling me this is not the struggle. This is not what I want. I want this over here. And then take
Hmm.
steps to get over here, right? The sense of accomplishment around that was huge. And I'm stepping into a different realm in terms of getting this message out to as many people as I can. So in terms of that in itself, wealthy is better. I have more options now.
Right,
I don't, I'm not stuck at a 9 to 5 because I have to pay credit card bills.
right,
You know what I
right,
mean? I have choices today.
right.
And the sum total of all of the effort that I've done, those little teeny things that I did every single day or once a week or whatever, to
Mm,
change from broke single mom to not broke single mom and a
mm-hmm.
person of wealth with choices. Yeah.
There's a thread I want to pull out here that maybe we can play with for a minute.
Okay.
Uh, it's about desire because it's come up a couple times now. It's the connection of wanting something different for yourself, having that directly linked to the decision to do things differently, and then the result of that, which is to have created something different. So the desire, um, I want to speak to for a minute about my own personal experience with desire and money, because I like to speak about this because I think it's been made, at least I know in the realms of humans that I hang out with, where, in healer and spiritual circles, there's a bit of that tinge that if you have desire around money, that your intentions aren't pure, something like that. And I just love money. Like I actually really I've loved since I was a little girl. Like I love money. And maybe part of it was this fascination because I saw the power that it seemed to have over the people in my life. It was like if they had money, they were happy. And if they didn't have money, the world was ending. It was really dramatic. But like I loved counting money, my grandpa's old coins. He had a mental illness and he thought he had all the money in the world and he would have me write checks out for $1 million, like to myself. I remember writing them out. I was, I didn't, I barely knew how to write all the words and I would write it out to $1 million to Tiffany. And yeah, I loved the game of it. I loved the power that it seemed to have. I loved this sort of there was already this mystery around it, like how did it actually work? And and then I've I've always liked nice things. Like really nice things. And nice things cost more money generally because there's more energy that goes into it. And I remember like when I was younger, we grew up with not much money. There was this happened several times where there was a piece of clothing that was just like an art piece to me. And I was young and I was like, must have that. It's so extraordinary. And my parents are like, what? We are not going to spend that much money on a piece of clothing. And I would beg, like, my whole family, nobody, you don't ever have to give me another present, birthday or Christmas present the rest of my life if everybody just puts their money together and gets me this one thing. Um, so and the thing is I got it in both cases. One was like a sateen teal jacket and another was this beautiful patchwork one of a kind sweater, and those
Ooh,
were gifted to me and I had both of those items for so long and I treasured them both. So it was my desire, and that
yeah,
desire required money, and that
yeah,
having the desire and letting myself have the desire, like actually feeling the energy of it, summoned the money,
yeah.
right, on my behalf. So now fast forward, this last part of the story is the thing is I look at it, it's always worked that way, that it's the desire that helps me up level my
Yes.
capacity to flow money. The desire always connects me to the up level and my capacity to receive and flow money. So when I was busting my ass in my clinical practice, and I was flowing money as a businesswoman, but I very much had like a lack mentality. There wasn't ever enough. It was a full on lack mentality. And I had this one client. I really at the time wanted to travel a lot. And this one client that I had, she was always traveling with her husband and they had a lot of money. And I said, I was so curious. I was like, what's it like to travel so much? And you're going over to, I think it was like Australia, they had a home, and in France, they had a home, and in the US, they had a home. I said, don't you get tired? Because I was thinking about how tiring it is to fly. And she said, well, we fly business class and usually I arrive refreshed. And she just said it so matter of factly. There was no, it was just, and I thought,
Yeah.
I didn't even know what business class was. Like, what? There's something called business class. So one time at one point, and this was only like 10 years ago, I used our miles because we were already flying to Sri Lanka quite often at that time. And I used our miles to upgrade that's a 17-hour flight, okay?
Yeah.
One leg of the flight.
Oh,
I used
wow.
our miles to upgrade us to business class on Emirates. My life was changed. Like, what?
Yeah.
You can lay down completely and have a nice blanket. And there's like a chef that was actually making the food. I had so much space. There were all these beverages. I could have as many beverages as I wanted. Like the bathrooms were big. I got refreshing whatever all the time, socks, pajamas, eye masks, like satin ones. I arrived, I had like a whole creative download of a course actually. It was one of my more successful courses that I ever created. Came as a download when I was on business class going to Sri Lanka. And after that, I remember landing and I felt a little bit sad for a moment because I thought, how could this ever be accessible to us to do, like to pay for on a regular basis? And then I decided right there, I was like, I'm just going to have to construct my business so that I flow enough money to always fly business class when we do long hauls overseas. That changed everything in my business.
Wow. You made a decision
I made a decision, and the decision was birthed out of the desire,
and it up leveled
and it up leveled everything.
everything. And the decision was really clear in that you needed to up level for you because that's what
Mm-hmm.
you wanted, right?
Yes. And I'm glad you brought it around to that too. It wasn't like it was some altruistic thing that, you know what I mean? Like it was really for me, it was for my comfort. But the thing is, the more comfortable I am genuinely, the greater I am of service.
Yeah.
I'm able to show up better.
Yeah.
I'm able to actually do more, hold better space, put out more quality products, all of the things.
All the things. I love that.
Yeah.
Me too. I I have to tell you, I will walk into any store and go to the most expensive item. I remember I was going in to get some fabric to cover a chair. And I looked and looked and looked, and I finally found the most perfect piece of fabric. It was like $1,000 a yard. It's like, of course, of course it is. Yeah. So you talk about
Mm,
up leveling, and if we can take the sting away from um, the wanting
mm,
something, the up leveling, the wanting something, if we could take the money, the greedy thought away from that and
mhm,
step it into true, like soul's desire to up level, to have a different experience. And it's okay
mhm,
to want a different experience. It's okay to want bigger, better, brighter, shinier. It's okay. It's a
mhm,
desire that we have. That's what
mhm,
we're here for.
mhm,
We're at
mhm.
Earth School to desire. It doesn't mean we're going to hurt somebody else. It,
Yes.
as a direct result, as a matter of fact, the more of us
Yeah.
who do that, we are
No.
we are operating as examples, power of examples of how to do it in a way that's authentic to us, to show
Yes, yes, yes.
that it can be done. Like for you, it can be done. We can do business class and we'll up level our lives in the meantime, right?
Yes, yes. Okay, bringing the summary into this is that I feel that tied directly into the currency piece, which is that um, so so part of the glitch that can happen with wanting that you were just highlighting is that somehow it's going to be taking from somebody else or be to the detriment of someone else. But when you actually see that there's actually more money in circulation than there has ever been on planet Earth,
Yeah.
and more is printed up. I'm setting aside whatever your opinions that you might have about that phenomena happening. The truth is just it's like being printed and it's circulating around. And just like in Chinese medicine with the meridian circulation, yes, it's true. I have a certain amount of qi here, Tiffany, age 49 at 10:42 in the morning. And it's also true that I get chi when I eat. I get chi when I pray. I get chi when I connect in with there is no shortage of chi.
Yeah.
And my experience then of flowing currency is has everything to do with my choice and ability to tap in,
Yeah.
to say I'm gonna eat something delicious that's nourishing to me and I feel juiced up, cheat up. So I like bringing that into relationship with money, like in other words, kind of holding, do you see what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like thinking about money like we might think about chi energy.
Yep. And that it's not, and to stop the label of
Mm,
money. Like, let's get the label off of money. And I love the connection with chi because nobody labels chi bad. They're like,
right.
that's cool. That's
Right.
great. I love
Chi's
chi.
cool.
More chi. Like, and the more of us who build that up, the more we have. That's why the currency is being built up, right? We could just get the
Yeah.
label off of money and put that connection. Chi, currency, prosperity, for the up level of all. Like,
Yeah. I love it.
right? Let's do it.
I we're doing it now.
It
All right, beautiful. I love this for ending. Is there anything else that you want to say in closing? Because I thought that was awesome.
was beautiful. It's a beautiful conversation. My only ending statement would be let's relabel money as a power of force of good, of
Mm,
empowerment, of good chi, good
mm,
energy. And the more of
mm,
us get empowered with that
mm.
and tap into how we can serve ourselves, therefore we can serve others in a better way, the better things will be for us and for our community.
Oof. Haha. Amen. And high
Yeah.
five. All right, everybody. Thanks for listening. We'll see you in the next episode.